Let's talk about our boy Nesmith. He
may loved him.
He did exactly what we've clamored for, or some of us have clamored for, was put him out there with the starter. If a guy like Brown goes down, you insert Nesmith and say, you're Jaylen Brown right now. We were dying for that. Dying for it last year, dying for it at times this year. Great, you're a starter. Go out there and play. Mm-hmm. And it happened. That first shot's always important, and he was long on a three. My God, that second jumper he took from the elbow that missed and hit the opposite side of the backboard is about as ugly a shot as I've ever seen anyone take who people refer to as a shooter. Everything else was good. The energy, the defense again was good. He didn't look lost on defense. He's grabbing offensive boards. He's doing all the hustle stuff. That's never been a knock. But what is it going to take, man? Like, what is going on in this guy's head? And again, it's an 0 for game. He was clearly he was inserted into the starting lineup in the second half because they wanted shooting. Logically, I thought they were going to go Derek White there, and I was really worried. That's not going to be a good shooting lineup with those guys, with White, Smart, Allen, Rob on the floor. That's going to be a tough spacing there. And they went with Nesmith for spacing and for shooting. Is it going to change?
I hope so.
I think we need to take him under the microscope, man. I think that's what it is, John.
Because you wanted to so bad, right?
Yeah, but
you all of the other stuff,
What I mean by that is Aaron Nesmith isn't the only one holding his breath after he takes a shot, and that's a problem. Like, I don't think the confidence is there, and I don't think the pressure helps. At the end of the day, you want to see him give you something. And if Ime is praising him like the way he is after tonight's game, saying that, Aaron didn't make a single shot, but, man, he gave us a lot of defense. He gave us a lot of energy. Then you got to take that because at the end of the day, he's got to give you something. He's in this rotation by default. Whether he's the last man off the bench or whether he's the guy that you have to turn to with someone like Jaylen Brown.
He's running out of time, Josue, though.
Yeah, he's at some point he's got to give you more than just the energy and hustle and all the intangibles because – newsflash, that's not why they drafted you, dude.
Yeah.
That's not going to
I get that. But his athleticism.
You grab undrafted free agents to do that or second rounders.
I think his athleticism bodes well for him to become a defender that they can rely on from the second unit. Somebody that doesn't have to lock down the opposing all-star, but can lock down, the first guy off the bench. Can you do that? Like, if he could turn into that guy, or at least,
I'm hoping he becomes a poor man's version of Chris Middleton. That's my ceiling for him. If he can do that,
I don't think that's going to happen. At least this year, I don't think
Chris Middleton's an all-star.
Josue, they clearly.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Jimmy.
You're talking about like a broke man's Chris Middleton.
He said a poor man. Sorry,
guys. He
keeps having
a homeless man's Chris Middleton.
They kept Nesmith not because of his hustle and his shooting. They kept Nesmith over. If they wanted a guy to come off the bench and play defense, then they'd keep Romeo. Okay, they kept Nesmith for a different reason, which is they believe he can translate to some form of offensive player. That's why, not because of the hustle.
But Bricks are going to keep you on the floor, not for this team. The team
but
that's
he didn't
surging.
go back. They started him in the second. He didn't go back in after that, did he? After that first stint.
I don't believe
so. Right,
it
he
was
did
Pritchard and then Grant.
But if Jaylen Brown was out there, he doesn't play 17 minutes. I think he played that because of his defense. And look, if Ime is singing his praises after a game like this, I think it's significant. I don't think he had to. He didn't really have to. He could have kept preaching about Marcus and Grant.
He kind of did.
When Al is down. When Al is down, you get a lot of Tice minutes. If Jaylen goes down, you have Nesmith's next man up. So you got Nesmith, Pritchard.
He's all you got now without.
That's all you got. That's it.
Yeah. But that's what I mean, though. He's that guy by default. But if he's giving you something, whether it's making stops or just keeping up that intensity, I mean, that's all you're gonna get. I don't see him turning into what we're seeing from Peyton Pritchard within the next month or so. I don't think that's gonna happen.
But that's not good for him, Josue.
It's not. It's horrible.
Yeah, you look at this off season. He'll be gone. Like, he will be out of here. And, he was already approaching that point, it appeared.
And Brad has made it pretty clear that Brad is not about the babysitting life. He's done with that.
Right.
Grown-ass men only. If you can't be that, then guess what?
Well, there's that's why they picked up these 2 days and 10 guys that could shoot because obviously Nesmith isn't cutting it.
One of them went to Vanderbilt.
That would be interesting if one of those guys could even get into that conversation because they're both wings.
People are misreading this though. Like people think this is a Nesmith bashing session. This is a Oh,
it's the Matt Ryan praise, John.
This was a perfect Nesmith opportunity that you want to see him cash in on. That's what this is. It's lamenting the fact that he came in the role and the area you want to see him come in, not in garbage time, not for a couple of minutes off the bench just to give guys a rest. He came in to play significant minutes with the starters, and he was on the floor while the team was playing well. So you just want to see him do well in this situation because you're dying for him to get confidence. People are like, stop crapping on him. We're not. We're rooting for the guy. Like, but
he's not that. He's not that guy, John. I just don't think he's that guy. Not right now. I think Peyton Pritchard took that title, took that emerging shooter that you can somewhat, who's confident enough to give you something, when he gets out there. I think he's more taking the Shemi Ojale chair,
as he should,
so to speak. That's who he is right now. I'm sorry, that's who he is. Shout out to Shemi, but that's who he is.
I love Shemi.
Pritchard deserves this. That fourth quarter run, the growing role he's breaking into here, because of the fact that, and I think John, you've mentioned this. He's not a horrible defender. You saw him fronting guys, rotating. There was a great rotation in that fourth quarter where
he gets called for a lot of fouls, but he doesn't even commit them.
That foul call I thought should have got overturned too on the challenge there. But
bad reputation fouls. He plays pretty well. Sometimes a little over aggressive, but defense is fine.
Yeah, and
with Aaron he's a pretty good rebounder too for his size. I mean, he isn't afraid to mix it up around the basket, which you don't see guys at his size that comfortable.
And we'll see the shot return. He 1 of 4 in this one. Extended run, more games under his belt, a consistent role now, which is great. I love the fact that trade, the white one, freed up last chances for these guys, Nesmith and Pritchard, effectively, because Pritchard was lost early this year. No path to minutes behind Schroeder. Nesmith, forget it. He'll be next man up, but it won't be long if he's playing like this. So Pritchard, especially, I feel great about right now, is that tertiary guard, is a shooter that they need. A guy who can do multiple things between ball handling, rebounding, as you mentioned, Sherrod, and I'd say pushing the pace, and, of course, shooting, which you need most. The shooting on this team, you've talked about it, John. They're going to have to find ways to manufacture. And if it's not Nesmith, you start to wonder about those guys at the bottom of the roster. Are they going to stick around? Do you look for something else there after the 10 days expire? Do you look at Hauser? It's amazing to me that they still haven't even taken a glance at him with how good of a shooter he is. But as Joe Sway mentioned, the greater package with Nesmith is probably better than Hauser's overall game. So they're in a tricky spot from the bench. It worked tonight. I'm still worried about this group's depth overall. If Brown has to miss an extended stretch here, anyone else goes down. You got some good backup options like White and Tice, but after that it gets weird.